Okay, so with the full moon coming up tomorrow, we'll work with Chandra Namaskar, the salute to the moon, and a lot of that will work with the low back, Danielle. So that should naturally address it. So we'll get that in. And then hips as well, because we do um, goddess pose in that. And then we'll add a few things. We'll get warmed up and then we'll go into that. So, I had read that quotation before I put on the recording. Let me just read it real quickly. Okay. The heaviest burdens that we carry are the thoughts in our head. And I'm going to bring this up so that the subscribers that watch this later can see the picture. See if I can get it in close enough. So there it is. The head having to be so heavy it's carried on a cart behind his physical body. Goodness, those are heavy thoughts. They're burdensome thoughts. So we're going to empty that out and let it all go. Free ourselves up, and we'll come into center to start with. Let go of the day, activities and memories. Bring your awareness to the eternal now moment. Just picture the full moon in your third eye or in your imagination. If some people have visuals, some people don't, and there's no difference. Use your imagination, picture the full moon, or draw up a vision of it. See how bright it is. Filled with light. Generally represents the feminine aspect. In some cultures, the sun is the feminine, but in ours, pretty much the moon is the feminine. Just imagine being that person walking, holding on to the cart behind him with the heavy, burdensome head filled with thoughts. Now, just as a little exercise, bring your palms down onto your mat, slide them forward, and bring your head down and just imagine all of those heavy thoughts draining out of your crown chakra. You can turn your head
so that your chin comes in towards your chest if you want, if that gives you more of a experience of it, draining, emptying out. And then walk your hands back in, lift up, emptied of burdensome thoughts. And our cleansing angels come in and sweep it away, return it, transform it back into the light from which it came. Focus on your breath now. Notice your physical sensations. Have you been catching yourself with your shoulders hunched up, lifted, and cringe? I call it cringe mode. Sometimes stress will affect us that way. We'll attune to breath. Let's bring our arms out to the side, palms up, and breathe as you lift. And then draw your palms down past your face. Turn your fingertips down. This is another way of releasing. Release down into the ground. And then separate your hands and take your arms out once again and breathe it up. Turn the fingertips down. Another way you can do this, if you like it, you can try it here. Bring your hands into Kali Mudra, where you're interlacing all but your index fingers. Thumbs are side by side. And lower your hands down in front and turn your fingertips down and release through the index fingers, your pointer fingers. And then repeat and breathe. Kali is the goddess of destruction and the goddess of nurturance. She's very instrumental in transformation. So, one more round. Pause with your fingertips pointing downward. Just watch your thoughts come in for a couple of breaths and see how your cleansing has gone. And then bring palms over your heart.
and then release. So we were talking before we turned the recording on about issues that have come up around, you know, men seeing themselves in the mirror as Atlas and, and think they're wonderful just as they are, and maybe they are, fine. But women looking in the mirror, like Jeannie said, see themselves as needing work or not beautiful. So anytime that kind of a memory comes up, try to catch yourself and just say, that is not mine. And you can just give it back to the person who gave it to you. It does not harm them. You're just sending it back. If you want to send it up to the angels and let them transmute it, that's fine. But send it back from wherever it came. If you can do that right away, or there is also the Ho'oponopono prayer with the 4 sentences. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. So you can also repeat that several times. Okay. So just lean back, stretch out your legs, shake them out. After being folded up, let your legs blossom. Okay. And just come up to your shoulders and create some circles. Move with your breath and reverse. Bring your arms around to the back. Interlace fingers and lift. Take your head back. Remembering that cart once again. Come forward over your legs and let any thoughts, heavy thoughts, burdensome thoughts drain out. And then come back up. And palms behind you, just separate your feet the width of the mat and take your knees side to side to loosen up in some of your leg joints here. Okay. Let's work a little bit with our core muscles. So just sitting tall, take in your breath. Reach your arms forward and exhale, lean back, keep your spine straight. See how far you can go. And then breathe and come forward. Reach past your feet if you can. Just breathe. Kind of like rowing a boat. Exhale back, draw the navel into the spine, lower down, see how far you can go. Breathe, come forward. And exhale as you pull back. See if you can go all the way. Not too bad, huh? Breathe. And reach forward. Press down on your feet, lift up, and come maybe just a third of the way. So this would be halfway, so maybe a third of the way. And lift your toes. Lift your low legs parallel to the floor. and stretch your legs up into the boat pose, the upward boat. If you want to make it more challenging on your core muscles, lift your arms overhead. And lower down. All right. So before we get too far, let's do a thigh stretch. So bring both feet in, come over to your left side, hold on to your right ankle, and bring your knee around your thigh, around back. Push your hip bone forward and pull the knee back. Heel into your hip. And come out of it for a moment. Breathe. And stretch. Okay. So other side. Take the knees over. Reach for your ankle. Breathe. And take the knee back. Heel into your hip. Press your hip bone forward. Give it a little rest. Breathe. And press. And then come down onto your back just for a moment. We're going to do Tadaka. Tadaka is Tadasana on your back. So you know what Tadasana is like when you're standing. We're going to experience it while we're lying down. So breathe, arms up overhead, and place your hands in Kali Mudra like we did during our centering. Reach up. Now, inch both of your feet over to the right. Take them as far as you can. And then take your shoulders and torso over to the right. And you're coming into a crescent moon called Tadaka when you're lying on the floor. Flex your feet as though you were standing on your feet. Notice how it feels in the waist. Press your low back down into the floor. All right, bring your torso back to center. Take your feet back to center. Give it a good stretch. Pull your navel down and your low back into the mat. All right, breathe. And walk your feet over to the left. And then inch your torso over as far as your body will allow into a crescent moon. Pull your low back down. And release. Let your feet come back. Bring your torso back. Separate your hands. Take in a breath. Hold your breath. Bring your hands to your thighs. Then chin on your chest. Start your exhale and come into a yoga sit-up. There we have it. And then come onto the balls of your feet. Stretch your heels away. Get a nice stretch in your heels. You can bring your ankles together and the balls of your feet if you want. It gives you a better stretch, but whatever your body will Allow. And then lift up. And separate your feet and your knees. Bring your arms in between, and we'll open the hip joints in preparation for malasana. So take the knee back, just go side to side. Okay. Before we go into malasana, take your left leg out, flex the foot, and just stretch forward. And come back up. Bring it in, other side. Lengthen up through your spine. And lean forward to stretch your leg. And come up and bring the foot back in and down onto the mat for malasana. Press the knees open. Lift in your torso, lift in your crown. Draw your core muscles in. Give yourself some support. Connect with the Earth Mother here. Draw her energy up. And release. Walk your hands forward. Lift your hips and hop your feet back into a plank. Separate your feet a little bit. And try to lift your right arm. This is what stabilizes the core muscles, reaching forward like this. Switch. Reach. Good. Pause. Let your knees down. Pull back into puppy stretch. Come back into plank. Breathe. Okay. Lift one arm. Lift it up by your ear. Other side. Pause and center. Breathe. And lift. Lower down. Press up into downward facing dog. Navel to spine, spine lifted. And then bring your feet in between your hands. Head to knee. All right.
This is a good place, again, to let all those burdens drain out the crown of your head. All right, now lengthen out in your torso. Bring your arms out for a reverse swan. Press down in your feet. Bring arms up overhead. And palms over your heart for a moment or two. Just lift all your toes. Create some space between your toes. Wiggle them. And lift one heel and then the other. Okay. Good. Now lift all your toes and set them down, starting with your pinky toe, one at a time. 2, 3, 4, 5. How'd you do? Try it again. Lift. Pinky toe. 2, 3, 4, 5. And release your hands. Shake them out. Standing twist. Now for Chandra Namaskar, you may want to turn your mat sideways or turn sideways on your mat. Come into Tadasana. Breathe arms into Kali Mudra overhead. Reach up. If you take your arms behind your ears and then reach up, you might get a better stretch. See if that works for you. Now wiggle your hips, find them side to side. And reach up again. Breathe. Take your hips out to your right and torso over to your left. Breathe. Press down on your feet. Lift fingertips up. Just gone right on through to the other side. So we don't stop and start. We let this flow. Okay. We're going to do it one more time. Breathe up to center. Flow right on through. Other side. Press your hips over and reach through your fingertips. Breathe. Press hips over to your left and reach. Come back to center. Release your hands. Step out into the goddess pose. Wide feet, arms in Kali arms. Open the knees. And then reach out into five-pointed star. Good. Take your left heel out, toes in, and I'm sorry, your right foot. That'd be my left, your right, okay? For triangle. Breathe. Press the hips just like you did in the crescent moon. Press your hips out and reach out over that front leg. Keep hips and shoulders forward. Go down as far as you can without sacrificing your stretch, your spine, and then change your arms. Look up. Now, how does this feel? Does it feel like it's a little narrow? Come back up, inhale, lift. See if you want to separate your feet further. If not, that's fine.
Breathe. And press the hips to the side. Reach out over your front leg. And switch. Okay. Now keep this part of your spine. A lot of people try to reach the floor and they round this out, and that can injure the sacroiliac joints over time. So you want to stay long here. So like this in a straight line, only we're in triangle. Now bring that right hand down, face the front leg, bring your hips around, let the back foot out. And this is where we come into a head to knee pose. Walk your hands forward a little bit, bend your front knee, your left knee, into sun pose, lift your chin. Bring your left hand inside the foot, pivot, bring the back heel down, and just like we did earlier, stretch that leg, lengthen through, and come into goddess pose from here, Malasana. Here we are. So that's half of Chandra Namaskar. Now we're going to go to the other side. So step it out to your right, back leg, stretch it out. Bring the toes on the back foot down, the ball of the foot, and pivot so that you're facing your front leg. Come into sun pose. Just align where it feels right for you. Lift your chin. So we're doing this backwards or in reverse. Now bring the back foot down, toes out. Bring it in a little if you need to. Just adjust. Straighten the front knee. Come in for your head to knee pose. Lengthen out. Breathe. Breathe out as you lower down. Let any burdens drip off your shoulders and flow out of your head. Now, make sure your legs are engaged. Lift up a little bit. Bring your right hand inside the right foot. Slide your left hand up the right arm across your chest and open into triangle. Try to open the hip and the shoulders facing front. Lengthen through and reach up. Inhale. Now, if you want to do it, we'll do it again, but adjust your feet if you need to, wherever you want. Adjust your hips. Breathe. Press your hips away. Reach out over the front leg. Toes are facing forward, shoulders. And with a straight spine, come into your triangle, Trikonasana. And breathe and lift up. Come back to center. 5-pointed star. We're all stars. Bend your knees, bend your elbows. Coming into Kali pose, open the knees. Now, we're going to lean over to one side and press up. Bring arms overhead. We started with your right hip going out. Now we'll start with your left hip. Reach up, breathe. Press the hip to the side and come over into your crescent moon. Breathe, lift. Flow through to the other side. Press your hips over. Press your feet down. Reach. Come back to center. Palms together, down over your heart. Close your eyes for a moment. Notice how you feel. And release your arms, shake them out. Move your fingers and wrists a little bit, and then we'll come in and unmute for our chanting. Let's see if I can find that again. Yes. Okay, so we're going to chant Om a few times. Oh, I can hear somebody's birdies. Aw, robins. Okay. Just lift up in your spine. Taking a breath. Again. Breathe. Bring your hands into mudra. Two more. Breathe. Last time. Beautiful. Come into Shavasana now. Listen to the sweetness and the innocence of the bird. Allow its sound to wash over you. Imagine the full moon in your mind's eye. Shining down on you, bringing the dew of nurturance. Now start to return, coming back from the stillness into awareness of the physical reality. 3D or 5D, whichever you feel like you're in. And just start to wiggle fingers and toes. Open, create space. And slide feet together and lift your knees to your chest. And roll to one side and press yourself up into sitting. Bring your hands into mudra. And bring palms together over your heart. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. May we all create peace within ourselves. Because when we do that, we don't have to worry about the rest of the world. So letting all those thoughts go. May you enjoy Robin's song. I hope they'll be able to hear that on the tape. So sweet. Getting everybody ready for bed. All right, just bring your thumbs up to your third eye. A reminder of the full moon. And namaste. I don't want to come back. I'm going to stay here.
Really?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, I have my windows open. I don't know if you do too, Jeannie, but I wonder if those are the birds outside my house. But yeah, they've been singing the whole time.
they are yours. Our windows are
yours.
closed in here.
Okay, yeah.
I know, it sounds so cool. That's how I wake up pretty much every morning, is hearing
Me
those
too.
robins.
I love it.
I do too.
My windows open.
Yes.
So a couple days have been cool, so I've been opening them.
Yes, same here. It's so nice. Gosh.
It is.
Oh, that was very nice. I liked all that.
Yeah, thanks. Michelle, I don't know if you remember when we were in class in person when we did, is it the goddess pose when we're standing?
Yes, and we do that.
I did that, and Marshall looked up at me like, it was funny.
Like, who's the crazy woman? Well, I thought about doing that, and then I thought the subscribers might go, "What?" So we'll
Really
say,
a wise idea.
Yes, save that for another time.
yeah, yeah.
Fun. Well, thank you. I'm gonna go out and peacefully